right, so that was an instance where for this section here for this transaction, I showed you how to use the subsidiary ledger to go ahead and counter the accounts payable by reducing it in the subsidiary ledger, and that's how I want you to do for the time being. But if you choose to go through a different route for putting the information in your subsidiary ledger, you may do so however you'd like, okay? All right, so now that we're done with this transaction here, we can go ahead and move on to the next one. So here, National Bank has finally approved of your business credit card, Visa Gold card, okay? With a $10,000 credit limit, with an 18% interest on end of the month balances. Payments are going to be due on the 10th of every single month, okay? Now, how do I record this transaction here?
You don't?
You don't. Why?
Because nothing's happened.
Elaborate. What do you mean nothing has happened? You got approved of
I
a
mean,
credit
I
card.
didn't, yeah, but I didn't get, I mean, the only thing is I found the terms. That's just information. I didn't get any charges. I didn't make any payments.
Correct. In this case, you got approved of a credit card, a liability. Now, the assumption here is there's a condition to that liability, right? You need to use
Yes.
your $10,000 credit card because right now you're at a zero account balance. You have a credit limit, but the idea is you need to spend the money. You need to borrow the money, actually physically do that before you can actually record a transaction. So in this case, no transaction needs to be recorded. However, this is definitely pertinent information to a transaction, right? That means I need to record this information into my National Bank Visa credit card um, uh, subsidiary ledger, because then I would know what my terms are, when my bill is due, and so on and so forth. So in this case, I'm going to go locate my National Bank credit card here. So N right here, National Bank. It's up to you. You could go ahead and put the date. You haven't received your first bill yet, but just so that you are aware, right? You got approved for credit limit of $10,000, okay? Right, with an 18% annual percentage interest, right? Right? Do you need to know that it's going to be on the end of the month's balances? No. I mean, that is standard information, right? That you're going to get charged an 18% interest, monthly interest, right? And yeah, that's pretty much all you need to put in there. You haven't received a bill yet, but you do need to know that it's going to be due on the 5th, the 10th of every month. So another date driven term. So, right. Now, in this case, we haven't received our first bill yet because we haven't used our credit card yet. So, in this case, we just filling that information in there just so that we have an idea of where these service charges are coming from, interest charges, and so on and so forth, right? We know exactly what we're doing. So that's all that we're going to put in the in National Bank Visa credit card. Okay? All right, so now we finally end up receiving our ceramic coffee mugs, which is a periodic weighted average inventory item, okay? So here is the bill that we received from All Things Ceramics, right? We have invoice number 126 here for the date of June 10. Here's the address. Terms is 1%, 10 net 20. Shipping date should be June 10. Here we are for the total of 80 ceramic coffee mugs quoted at $2.45 each, which gave us a total of $196. We got a subtotal of $196. We got the prepayment applied. So now we only owe $96. Plus, we got charged for shipping and handling for $100, right? So therefore, you owe on this bill $196. Okay? So again, this is an inventory purchase. Now, in this case, how do we record inventory purchases in our books? How do we record that we purchased inventory?
Purchase expense, freight expense.
Okay. Now, why did you choose purchase expense and freight expense?
Because it's a purchase. It's your inventory. Purchase expense, freight expense, and then we also have prepaid accounts and accounts payable because we did prepay that $100.
Okay, so that part's correct, but what indicated to use purchase expense and freight expense instead of inventory?
Because it's cost of goods sold.
We didn't sell anything yet.
No, I meant because it's purchasing.
Mm.
For inventory. Well, we're not selling it though, right?
We are selling the coffee mugs. That is part of our inventory,
okay.
Yes. But my question is, why am I not journalizing it straight to inventory? What told you that you're going to use a purchase expense over inventory?
Besides that, it was listed on there.
Well, again, once you dive into week 3, you're not going to have all that information for you, so you need to be able to know how to. So in this case, what trigger word am I using?
You did that periodic weighted average thing.
Well, okay, but a weighted average is a costing method, right? How you calculate to get rid of it.
And then you also had your terms and everything on there. I don't know.
Okay, so I'll ask you this question now instead. Which type of inventory tracking method are we using?
Periodic.
We're using periodic. So what does periodic tell me when I purchase my inventory? I have to use an expense. If this was perpetual inventory, how would I journalize this differently?
Because it would be a daily thing when you sell it.
Okay, but if this was perpetual inventory, how would I record this differently in my books? In terms of what account would I use?
It would be an inventory account. It would be mugs.
Correct. So in this case, it's because of the different tracking methods that we're using. In this case, we're using periodic inventory, meaning we will not keep a good track record of it. We don't care to keep a track record of it. So that's why we're going to refer them as expenses first. Okay? So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to have a purchase expense, a freight expense. You did recognize that we have a prepayment, so we got to take out our prepayment and then our accounts payable because we owe money, right? We're not going to pay this now. We're going to choose to take advantage of the terms that were given to us. So in this case, purchase expense account is $61,000. Freight expense is going to be $6,300. Now, in this case, let's go ahead and journalize at least the foundation of that, right? That you have a purchase expense. And you have a freight expense.
And it's 61,000 and then 6,300.
Okay. Now, how do I apply my down payment?
You mean your prepayment?
Mm-hmm.
It's prepaid accounts.
So am I going to debit that or am I going to credit that?
Credit.
Credit. Why?
Because it was already done before.
No, when we acquired the down payment first, we debited the account.
No, that's what I meant. That it was the debit thing before, so now you have to credit it
Why?
because you're using it.
Correct. So remember that idea where I said when a company requires a down payment, what you're doing is you're paying them and you're receiving a voucher. Now
Mm-hmm.
that you receive the bill, you take that voucher and you apply it to the bill. So that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what you're doing here is you're taking your voucher, you have it now. Now you're using it to redeem your $100 voucher here. So it's going to decrease, right? We said this before, right? Prepayments, down payments typically will decrease your accounts payable, right? So in this case, we got a prepaid accounts, right? 18,600, which will decrease my account by $100. So therefore, how much do I actually owe, right? Because we said that we're going to place this on an accounts payable, right? So let's take a look again. My purchase expense. How much was my actual purchase expense?
$196.
$196, right? You can either do 245 times your 80, get your 196 there, or you can just type it in since you have the bill right in front of you. How much did my shipping cost me?
Your freight expense is $100.
It was $100. How much was my prepayment?
$100.
$100. So therefore, how much do I owe at the end of the day?
Accounts payable 196.
196, right? Because if you add up your debits and credits, 196 plus $100 gives you 296, right? You have a down payment for $100, so then therefore you owe right here in your bill $196, right? That already is displayed in there, and this is how you're going to redeem your down payment or apply the down payment to your bill. Okay? So now we have all the information that we need, right? We received a bill from All Things Ceramics, right? What was proof that I received a bill?
Invoice 126.
Invoice number 126, right? And what I can do here is I can say that I applied a down payment, okay? And what are the terms that I was given?
That is 1% 10, net 20.
So in this case, All Things Ceramics has given me an opportunity to earn another discount if I paid within 10 days. If not, the entire bill is due in 20 days. Okay? I only have 20 days to pay the bill, right? Because I already made a down payment, so that's why they're giving me less dates because they're, you have that should be plenty of time to pay the rest of the bill off. Okay? So, good. Now, before I move on to anything else on this page, what should I do first in terms of my checklist? What should I check off first?
Your purchase order?
You should check off your purchase order always, because what is the rule number one? If and when you receive inventory items, you need to open the box and you need to check to make sure all of the quantities are there. And you also need to check mark that you verify that this is the correct bill that's matching to your purchase order. So that's the first thing we got to do there is, again, it's called quantity control. So in this case, right here, All Things Ceramics, 305. We got 80 mugs costing at $2.45 each, which is true for the $196, right? Shipping can vary, right? Depending on how much I order. So in this case, right, we're going to say, when did we receive these items?
The 10th.
The 10th.
With invoice 126.
Yes, okay, so let me see. Date. Today is the 10th. Invoice number 126. Okay, good. So now that I verified that I did receive my order, now let's just take a quick scoop or take a quick look. Right now, I have received everything except for one, right? I'm still pending on my coffee brewer and coffee grinder, right? So that's also something that you could do to verify as well. Or if you color coded it, if you made everything green to make sure that you checked it, then good, then you'll be able to spot it much easier, okay? All right, so now I can go back to my journal, right? And what always comes after my journal? I gotta post my numbers to my ledger, okay? Because now I acquired, I have accounts that I need to update, right? Because now I owe more money, and I need to update my purchase expense accounts, okay? So starting with the first one, purchase expense. Okay, so keep going. Per payroll, keep going. Purchase expense right here. It is up to you if you want to identify what you ordered. So in this case, I ordered 80 mugs, right? If you want to put at $2.75, that's up to you. In this case, 80 mugs is fine for me because I don't need to keep track of the dollar amount because that's what my inventory worksheet is for. Okay? So general journal, page 3, and we have it for $196, right? So therefore, I have a purchase expense account for $196. Now, I will let you know here. Of course, you're going to be making multiple purchases of coffee mugs. So in this case, yeah, that's why you have this table is really long because we will be making lots of purchases of the coffee mugs. Okay. I need to update my freight expense. So that should be all at the top of your window over here. So freight expense. And you can choose to put in that it is the 10. And this is going to be for delivery of 80 coffee mugs, right? Or shipping, whatever you want to call it as. General Journal page 3 for $100. Right? Okay. Then the next thing I did was I redeemed my voucher. So that is exactly what I'm going to do to my assets here. I'm going to go locate my prepaid accounts. Okay, here I am, prepaid accounts. And I'm also going to put the same exact note here that I applied. Down payment to invoice number 126. Okay? And then I'm going to code that to journal number 3. And because I'm redeeming my voucher, I am applying my down payment. This is going to be a credit. You're going to reduce that voucher because you're using it, right? So that should drop your value back down to that $7,826.04. So exactly before you had the prepayment. Okay? And then, last but not least, we need to update our accounts payable because now, what happened here? We ended up making more liabilities. Okay? We end up owing more money. So in this case, today's the 10 for invoice number 126. Okay? General Journal, we're still on our 3rd page here. And we're going to increase our liabilities by $196 because that's how much my bill was worth. Okay? So therefore, that should increase your liabilities to $9,229.75 because we're increasing it by $196. Okay? So now that tells me that I owe much more money. Okay? So I completed my journal. I successfully posted it to my ledger. Now all I have to do left is update my subsidiary ledger, right? And this is how you do it. Okay? So in this case, right, this is for all things ceramics. Since today is June 10, right, I'm going to go ahead and say that I end up receiving, right, receiving 80 coffee mugs, right? And you can choose to include the shipping here. So shipping cost $100. Okay. You can even include that the price of it. So 80 coffee mugs. Okay, let's go back. 80 coffee mugs at $2.45 each. Shipping was $100. And then you can also include applied down payment on invoice. Okay, so again, invoice number 126. Okay, General Journal, page 3. Okay, terms, we were given a 1% discount if you paid within 10 days. If not, you are paid in 20. Okay, so now we finally have a discount opportunity. So the same steps goes when you're calculating your dates, right? You just the separate column just allows you to let you know when things are due. Now again, if you taking the advanced Excel class, you should be able to know how to do conditions, right? To set it up so then if you need to have something flagged, right? You can flag when your discount date is coming near, or when you if and when you're going to make a payment, right? You'll be able to be aware of your due date. But because we have two separate columns, this is also going to make sure that when I go view my information over and over again, I can see, oh, if I make a payment now, I would be able to make a discount. So in this case, right, the formula to figure out the discount is the same, right? If I want an accurate number, right, I'm going to go ahead and take my date and I'm going to add 10. So that's going to be my discount due date because I have to pay within the 20th of June to make my 1% discount. But if not, I need to know what my actual due date is. So in this case, if I received it on the 10th, right, and I'm going to add 20 days from now, it's going to tell me that I have to pay by the end of June. So that means, yes, we will get to see an opportunity to make a payment for this, for our coffee mugs, because we are going to be doing for the month of June. So that means we are going to be needing to make a payment regardless to all things ceramics. Now, this is how I want you to plug in your worksheet, okay? So right now, what was my total invoice amount? What was my total invoice amount? Okay? Without
$296.
Correct, right? Because the mugs were $2.45 each and we ordered 80, plus we had $100 worth of freight, right? So therefore, my original invoice amount was for $196. But because I had a prepayment, right? That's where I can go ahead and use the prepayment amount to apply that prepayment, right? That down payment. So in this case, I'm going to now fill in that I applied my down payment to this bill for $100. So therefore, because the way that we set up the formula, we set that prepaid accounts will decrease your accounts payable, right? And that's exactly what this formula does here. It should automatically calculate for you. It's going to take the original invoice amount minus any prepayments, minus any returns and allowances, minus any discounts, minus any payments. So then now, this is what you want to ensure is correct. Do I owe all things ceramics for this particular bill for $196? Yes. Yes, you do. You don't owe $296. You owe $196 because even on the form itself, deducted $100 for their down payment. And this is how I want you to use the prepaid accounts section of the subsidiary ledger. How do you do it? You apply it by plugging it in, by making sure that you understand that the original invoice amount is important. Apply whatever your down payment is so you get the correct number that's supposed to be on your invoice. Okay? And that is it for this section here. Okay? All right. So any questions in regards to the subsidiary ledger?
None from me.
Okay. All right. So now that we have So now that we have that, let's go ahead and do the next one. So now we're still on the same day, but this time we're going to make 2 purchase orders, right? We're going to now start ordering our coffee. We want 125 pounds of regular coffee, and we want 125 pounds of Supreme coffee, right? Because we bought coffee brewers, right? We're going to actually brew our coffee at our store and serve it. So in this case, we need to buy some coffee beans, right? And that's why we decided to purchase a coffee grinder, because we want to have the freshest coffee, right? So that is exactly what we're going to be doing here. Is we're ordering our coffee by the beans, by the pounds, and this is what it's quoted at, right? My regular coffee, I'm going to go ahead and purchase it from Atlas Coffee Importers for $1.35 per regular coffee pound, and then $1.55 per pound for the Supreme coffee, giving you a total of $362.50. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and plug that into my purchase orders. Okay, for purchase order number 306 for the first one. So today is the 6th. We're going to be ordering from Atlas Coffee Importers. Okay. We're going to purchase regular coffee. And we're going to purchase Supreme coffee. We want 125 pounds of each, right? We said that the regular coffee right now is $1.35 per pound. And then our Supreme coffee is $1.55 per pound. Okay? So if you do your calculations here, right, quantity times unit price will give you your total quantities here, or total amounts here. And of course, you could go ahead and I'm going to do equal sum. To let me know that I am expecting this order for quote to be $362.50. Okay. The second purchase order we're going to make here is to restaurant supplies. We're going to be ordering a commercial refrigerator. Okay, so I'm going to push it down. I think we have, oh, nope, that's it. A commercial refrigerator for $2,998. Okay. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and fill out in my second purchase order right here for 307. To order the refrigerator from restaurant supplies. Okay. For $2,998. So that's going to be my total is $2,998. Okay. All right. So now that I am going to be pending for 2 more orders, okay, I can go ahead and continue on forth. Okay. All right. So we have here is going to be I finally received my coffee brewer and coffee grinder, right? So here it is. 1 commercial coffee brewer, 1 commercial coffee grinder, right, for $2,266 plus the $1,249.95, giving you the grand total of $3,515.95. You got taxed $290.07, and here's your down payment. Once again, it applied for that $1,171.87. So therefore, you owe $2,634.15 to Haley Rose. So, how do I record this? Now, this is what I'm going to tell you here. Right now, my store does not have enough space for my coffee brewer and coffee grinder. In this case, for just one of them, okay? So what I'm going to tell you to do here is I want you to code it to the miscellaneous suspense, because there's probably going to be work that I need to be done on, my coffee brewer or coffee grinder, right? Because we need to now, especially with the coffee grinder, right? We know it's going to shake all over the place, right? We need to get a foundation or some kind of table, right? We need to put some extra electrical wiring because I need space for my refrigerator too. I need an outlet for my refrigerator as well, and for everything else that I need to have for my, equipment, right? I need more outlets, and I need a foundation for my coffee grinder. Okay, so in this case, for now, I'm going to tell you just code it into miscellaneous suspense, because right now there's work that needs to be done on either the coffee brewer or coffee grinder. I'll let you know later. Okay, and because they're not ready for service, I'm gonna have you guys put it in the miscellaneous suspense because they're not fully in their asset cost price yet, okay? Because there's still work that needs to be done. So I want you to code this coffee brewer and coffee grinder into your miscellaneous suspense account, okay? What is a miscellaneous suspense account? Right now, it's just a random account that I'm using as a placeholder for a temporary place to just put my assets in, okay? That's what I'm just gonna, it's gonna be a work in progress or things that it still need work to be done, account. So in this case, that is what it is. Does every single business have a miscellaneous suspense account? No, it will just depend on the business, right? In this case, like I said, I'm just gonna, I have work that needs to be done, so I need you to just code it and put it there, right? So that is exactly what I'm telling you to do. So we're gonna go ahead and look in my journal, right? Or look in my chart of accounts to identify what my account number is for that miscellaneous suspense. Okay. Right now, miscellaneous suspense is $19,990. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do because right now, like I mentioned, my coffee brewer and coffee grinder are not ready for service yet. They don't have their full cost attached to them. So in this case, that's exactly what I'm going to do here. Okay? Miscellaneous suspense. Okay? Coded to 19,990. And once again, I'm going to take advantage of Haley Rose offer, right? That I'm going to take advantage of the terms because they gave me a 1% discount opportunity if I pay within 15 days. If not, the entire bill is due in 30 days. So that means I'm going to take advantage of those 30 days to make a payment for, because there's no way I'm going to make a payment for $2,000 right now, right? Because I only have $5,000 in my bank. So that's not the smartest decision to do, so I'm going to wait for it. So in this case, right, we are going to also apply our down payment, right? Because that's exactly what it says right here in our bill, that a down payment has been applied. So therefore, that reduces your accounts payable. Okay? So, let's see. Prepaid accounts is $18,600. Accounts payable is accounts $20,000. So you could choose to do so, right? Right now I owe $2,634.15. 2,634.15, and I made a $1,171.87 down payment. So therefore, my entire original amount that I'm putting in with both coffee brewers and coffee grinder is going to be for $3,806.02, right? And that is also on your bill too, right? They had the total and then they took the down payment out. Okay? So, that is that there. Now, it is up to you if you want to make a separation. You can choose to either do it in your journal or you could do it in your ledger here. I'll go ahead and save it for the ledger, and I'll talk about what I'm talking about right now. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and be finished with this transaction here, right? So I have everything that I need, right? I received a bill from Haley Rose, okay, with an invoice number, right? Invoice number 351. I applied my down payment. Okay? And I have a 1% opportunity if I pay within 15 days. If not, my bill is due in 30. Okay? All right. So now that I have that information in there, right, I can go ahead and make sure that my purchase order has been updated, right? So this was pretty early on. Right here, Hallie Bros was my purchase order number 303. I'm going to go ahead and verify that, yes, I have received my item. And the proof here is my invoice number. My invoice number, which is 351. Okay. Okay. So now that I have this, let's go ahead and plug it into my ledger. Okay. Starting with the first one here is miscellaneous suspense. So that's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put everything into my miscellaneous suspense account. Now, I'm going to also make a separation in my miscellaneous suspense account because I need to also ensure that I know how much is going to go towards my coffee brewer and how much is going to go towards my coffee grinder. Okay, so as you can see, there's some work here that's already done here. You can just ignore this or override it. Okay, so okay. So let's start with the first one. So if I am looking, so I'm going to do my chart up here this time. Let's call this my brewer. And we'll call this my grinder. Okay? Right now, how much was my coffee brewer? Okay? What did we originally purchase my coffee brewer for? We purchased it for $2,266. 2266. Right? 2266. How much was my coffee grinder? Coffee grinder was $1249.95. $1249.95. So right now, that should give you your total of $315.95, right? That's what we were quoted for. Now, we also have to split the tax because we need to know how much tax is going to go towards my coffee brewer and how much is going to go towards my coffee grinder because these are two separate assets that I'm going to need to depreciate separately, right? I can't assume that my miscellaneous expense is going to be one conglomerate. It's not going to be one whole entire equipment, right? I need to separate the two. So in this case, I need to prorate how much tax is going to actually go towards my actual item. So in this case, I'm going to multiply it by 8.25%. Okay? So how much tax is actually going to go towards my actual coffee brewer?
$186.95.
$186.95. And then how much is going to go to my coffee grinder?
$103.12.
Now, is this correct? Does this say that you put in $290.07 to your tax?
We'll figure that out.
$290.07. Is that true? $290.07. All right. So therefore, good. We have our grand total of the $3,806.02. Okay? So we have that much information there. Okay? All right, and if you need to verify and confirm that is true, I'm going to go ahead and do my equal sums here so you can get your total of what you need here. So my coffee brewer right now is $2,452.95, and my coffee brewer is currently $1,353.07. So grand total for 3,806.02, which that is true, right? It is 3,806.02. All right, that's the grand total there. So what I'm going to do here is let's go ahead and plug our numbers in, right? That you have a coffee brewer, right? Which was a total of, what was it again? It was a total of 2,452.95. Okay. There you go. I was like, I'm stuck. My date's not showing. what was it? 2,452.95 plus coffee grinder, which is right now a total of $1,353.07. Okay? So then that's going to, it's going to General Journal page 3 here for a debit of $3,806.02. Okay, so 3806.02. 3806.02. Right? So therefore, my current account balance is going to be for that amount.
Do we have the tax in that too?
In this case, yes, I do, but don't worry, because when we do the when we put them in their respective accounts, I'm gonna lay out how much the tax is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, yeah. If you want to do it right now, go ahead and do so. It's up to you. But at the end of the day, right? Obviously, these are not going to be in the miscellaneous suspense accounts forever. So we're eventually going to take them out eventually. Okay. All right. So that's my first thing here is that I plugged it into miscellaneous suspense. So now the next thing I have to do is go ahead and apply my down payment, right? So this one is fairly close by. Here's my prepaid accounts up here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and apply my down payment for the 10th. Okay, so it's going to be applying down pay on invoice number 351. Okay. General Journal page 3, and I'm going to credit for the 1171.87. And that should decrease your amount to get you to 6654.17. Okay, so we're taking that down payment and we're applying it. So now you're left with the original, right? You got your rent payment and your insurance payment in there. Okay. And then last but not least, I have to create a liability because now I owe more money to to Haley Bros. Okay, so invoice number 351, General Journal page 3, and that will increase my liability by $2,634.15. So therefore, that should increase your accounts payable to now become $11,863.90. So once again, now you're noticing this. I'm acquiring a lot of assets for my business, yes. But what I'm doing here is I'm digging myself a bigger hole, right? Because now I owe $11,000. I only have $5,000 in my bank. How am I going to make a payment all of this in time? Okay, so again, this is one of the key features that you're going to always occur when you're starting your business from scratch. You have to make all of these expenses ahead of time before you can even prepare yourself to open your store, to even be able to begin to generate those revenues, to pay back all of those expenses that you previously purchased, right? Right? So in this case, that's what I'm at right now in my total accounts payable. Okay. So now that I have that, I'm going to also go ahead and apply that to my subsidiary ledger to Haley Bros. So I think Haley Bros is the next one. Here you go. Haley Bros, right? I'm going to go ahead and plug in that I received my coffee brewer coffee grinder. And you can also put in the same information, right? received coffee brewer, okay, for that 2000 $2,452.95. So 2,452.95 plus my coffee brewer. Coffee grinder for that $1,353.07. Right? And I'm also going to say that I applied my down payment to invoice. Okay? Again, invoice number 351, General Journal, page 3. And did I receive terms? Yes, I did. I got a term opportunity of a 1%, 15, net 30. I get 30 days to pay for this now. So I'm going to go ahead and take the date, add 15 days. So that means my discount opportunity will end on the 25th of June. So that means I do have 20 days to make a payment, right? And be able to receive a discount. But if not, my entire bill is going to be due in the next 30 days, right? So in this case, it's going to be due July 10. Okay? Now, notice this. 30 days from now, from June 10, it takes into consideration that June only has 30 days. So in this case, Excel, by using these formulas, right, by selecting the date and adding X amount of dates on there, QuickBooks is smart enough to figure out that June has 30 days. And it would calculate your numbers correctly with the correct date. So in this case, that is exactly why I rather use the formula than guesstimate my own dates here, because I could accidentally mistaken, oh wait, June has 31 days, and then say that it's due June 9th. No, in this case, this is another way that to help you ensure accuracy as well. Okay? And what was the original bill due for? $3,806.02. We're going to apply my down payment of 1,171,87. Okay? Okay? And if you have your formula in here correctly, it should reflect that you should be owing $2,634.15, which is correct because that's exactly what your statement says you is due, right? It's $2,634.15. Okay? Okay. All right, let's see what else. So now that I finished my journal, I finished posting to the ledger, I posted to my subsidiary ledger. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot to fill out my inventory worksheet from the previous one. Okay? Sorry for that one. That's going to be my mistake on my end. Okay? So let's go ahead and take a trip back to that transaction. So again, because we end up purchasing inventory, that is where we're going to be introducing you to the inventory worksheet, right? Now, because we use periodic inventory, right? Our main goal is we're only keeping track of what we purchased, right? We don't keep track of, or we don't update our books in terms of what we sold, right? Our assumption is, yes, we'll keep track of the sales, but we're not going to keep track of what we sold. So in this case, right, you still need to keep track of your purchases. So I'm going to go back, right? It was the 10 that we received our inventory. We received 80 mugs for $2.45 each, which should give you your $196. We were charged freight of $100, so therefore your total cost was that $296. Now in this case, what costing method am I using to keep track of my coffee mugs?
Periodic.
Okay, that's track to track it, but what costing
Weighted.
method? We're using weighted average. So in this case, it is optional to you. If this is something that you want to keep practicing for yourself and for practice purposes only, go ahead and figure out the cost per item. But I don't have to do that because I'm using weighted average. It wouldn't matter at the end of the day what my cost per item is per batch that I purchase. But in this case, I'll do it for practice purposes, right? How do we determine the cost per item, right? It's going to be your quantity divided by your total cost divided by your total quantity. So in this case, I'm going to take my $2.96 and I'm going to divide it by 80 units and I'm going to get $3.70 per cup. But remember, we don't care for that because at the end of the day, we're going to combine them all together and we're going to find the average cost per item. Okay, so in this case, no need for that. So there you go. That's the first entry into your inventory worksheet. Okay, so I do apologize for skipping that one. Okay. So let's go ahead and do the next transaction here. Okay. So like I've mentioned before, the reason why I have it in miscellaneous suspense is because I'm going to tell you that additional work needs to be done on the coffee grinder before it can be put into services, okay? A foundation is needed to be reinforced and an electrical wiring needs to be upgraded, okay? So maybe we're upgrading the electrical wire unit so then, the socket wouldn't blow out because of how much electricity we're using in one piece of equipment. So maybe it needs to be upgraded to a better, more feasible, what do you call it? Metal, right? To upgrade the outlets. Maybe I need to make it from a 2 outlet to a 4 outlet. I don't know. So in this case, I just need to make sure that I need electrical work to be done on my coffee grinder. Okay? So that is what I need for that. That is why I put those items into my miscellaneous suspense. Okay? However, what happened next? We end up receiving another bill. But this time, it is from Valley Delivery Services. Okay? Valley Delivery Services decides to come up to you and say, hey, we decided to ship your items, right? Your coffee brewer and your coffee grinder. And we are going to be asking it to be coded as COD. What does COD mean?
Cash on delivery.
Cash on delivery, meaning you need to pay for the services that Valley Delivery has provided to you. Because in this case, Hallie Bros, they decided to use a third-party vendor to ship the items out to you. And they didn't charge you for shipping because you're going to pay that shipping separately to this third-party vendor. So in this case, they give you the bill, the invoice saying that, hey, since the coffee brewer and the coffee grinder weighs about the similar weight, right? They decided to charge you $350 to deliver these two pieces of equipment. Okay? Now, because the assumption here is the coffee brewer and the coffee grinder, right? They're commercial coffee brewer, coffee grinders, meaning they're gonna be bulky, they're gonna be big, and they're gonna be heavy. So, therefore, to save you some extra time on having to weigh them out, I say split the shipping cost in half, 50% to the coffee brewer, 50% to the coffee grinder. Okay? So that means out of the $350, you're going to separate those costs to those different types of to the two assets that I purchased. Okay? Now, where is my coffee brewer and coffee grinder? Where did I place them?
You have them in miscellaneous suspense.
Exactly. So therefore, I need to, because this is part of the cost of my fixed asset, right? The cost of the asset includes everything that gets your asset ready for service. And this one is just the part of the cost to get them delivered to your store. So in this case, where did you place them? You place them to miscellaneous suspense. So that's exactly where you're going to place this shipment. You're going to put the shipping costs into miscellaneous suspense account because your coffee brewers and coffee grinders are currently located there. And because you end up making a payment, COD, cash on delivery, right? How are you going to make a payment to Valley Delivery Services?
Writing them a check.
Yep, because you don't have cash on you, but also, this is the one thing that you have to know about third-party vendors. A check is a powerful tool. It's proof of where your money is going. Now, if you send this person a check, what are they going to do with it? They're going to cash that check out, right? So that's proof that you made a payment to them. If you give them straight up cash, what's going to happen? They can claim that they never received the payment from you. They can also claim that that you never received the items, and then Haley Bros might, charge you other things, right? So in this case, that's why it's important to use a check for this type of transaction, because it is proof of a transaction and it's a paper trail, right? You get to actually see where your money's going instead of using cash, right? Which you don't have an actual, you don't have a track record on the cash, right? Yes, you may have the receipt, but what does the invoice? What does an invoice tell you? It only tells you what you were charged. It doesn't give you a track record of a payment that was made. So in this case, that's why using a check is so powerful. Okay. So in this case, yes, we're going to be cutting a check for the delivery services. So again, miscellaneous is $19,990. Check is $10,100. And you're going to be cutting it for the total of $350. Okay. Okay, $350. So go ahead and write the check out. So it is still the 10. We wrote the check out for $350. To whom?
That would be the Valley Delivery Service.
Yes, you're not going to make a payment to Haley Bros because this is the third party vendor who ships the items to you. So this is a shipping company. Okay? And then you're going to go ahead for shipping cost for coffee brewer and coffee grinder. So shipping. Okay. So you cut a check $15.12. Okay. So now you have all the information you need, right? You received an invoice from Valley Delivery Services. Okay. The proof of that transaction is the invoice number coded 301. Okay. And it was a cash on delivery. So therefore you paid them with check number 1512. Okay. So then, right, I'm going to go ahead and plug into my ledger. That I have another miscellaneous suspense. Okay. Here's miscellaneous suspense. Okay. And I'm going to code this, right, since it's a shipping cost or delivery cost, whatever you want to call it. Delivery, right, shipping cost. Okay, split. What is $350 divided by 2?
175.
$175, right? So I'm going to go ahead and split for brewer and grinder. Okay, split 50% I'm going to put here. Okay. And let's see. Today is we're still on General Journal page 3 for $350. So therefore, that's going to add. Let me write up 1. Add your debits minus your credits. That's going to increase your account to a total of $4,156.02. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here is on the side, right? Since I've already established that I'm going to split the freight cost, right? So that means that's going to contribute to my total cost of my asset, right? So if I'm splitting $350 divided by 2, $175 there and $175 there. Okay? Therefore, that $350 is going to be split to the 2. So therefore, my coffee brewer is now $2,627.95, while my coffee grinder is now $1,528.07. Okay? All right. And then, last but not least, I need to now cut my check for that $350, right? So, here's my checking account. I spent more money. Okay, let's see, this was 10. I wrote check number 1512. For that additional $350. So that will bring my account balance down to $5,552.42. Okay. All right. Okay. Hang on, guys. We're almost done here. Okay. Now we need to also update that we had proof that we made a payment to Valley Delivery Services. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and locate them under my vendors list because they provided me service, right? And this is also to ensure that when you contact Haley Brothers, that yes, we did receive our items. And yes, we did make a payment to the shipment cost, okay, separately. I'm in the wrong account. Okay, so one more up. Valley Delivery Services, okay? 610. Name here is shipping cost on brewer and grinder. Okay. Invoice number 301. General Journal page 3 still. And terms are going to be COD, meaning cash on delivery, for the total invoice amount for $350, which you made a payment. Oh, I forgot to put my check number. Right? I made a payment for $350. So therefore, I'm going to also include my check number as proof I made a payment with check number 1512. Okay. So that means you're going to owe Valley Delivery Services nothing. Okay. Okay. All right. So now we can be officially done with this transaction because we went from journal to ledger to subsidiary ledger. Okay. Last thing I'm going to have you do here, and we'll end today's class, right, is you can finally remove the coffee brewer out from miscellaneous suspense. Okay? All right? And that will be the last transaction for today. You're going to remove the coffee brewer out from miscellaneous suspense. Okay? So how do I transfer from one account to another?
You know how to do that in QuickBooks.
Yes, we do, right? You do a journal entry, right? Well, this is a journal entry, so how do we do that?
Just move it from one to another when you're doing the journal. From miscellaneous expense, nope. For coffee brewer and grinder, because you do have those accounts.
We do, but
and then you credit, you'll debit those, and then you'll credit because you're turning them into asset, and then you'll credit the miscellaneous expense.
Suspense, good. Now in this case, yeah. I only want you to remove the coffee brewer. Leave the coffee grinder because that one still has work to be done. Okay? Mm-hmm. So in this case, exactly what you said. We already know we have a coffee brewer account, right? We know that from the very beginning of the lesson, right? Where we purchased our business, right? The first thing that they had was a coffee brewer. So in this case, let's locate where that is, coffee brewer. Your coffee brewer is going to be 15010. Okay? And of course, we already know what our miscellaneous suspense account is, and that's exactly correct. We're going to take it out, literally. We're going to remove it from my miscellaneous suspense account and move it into my coffee brewer account. Now, do I know exactly how much to take out? Well, let's look at it, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at my ledger. Okay? Okay? Have I calculated how much my coffee brewer is? Have I figured that out already?
Yes.
Yes, you have, on the side, right? My coffee brewer is currently at the total cost of $2,626.95. So that is the exact amount that I'm going to be taking out, which will include the price of the coffee brewer, the tax that was covered on there, and the shipping cost that was included. Okay? So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to copy that in my journal that I'll be taking out $2627.95. And I'm going to go ahead and finish my description off by saying to remove coffee brewer out from miscellaneous expense. Even though, yes, it is straightforward exactly what you're doing here, but I'm just going to make sure that anybody who tries to read this knows what I'm doing, right? And that concludes your page 3 of your journal. So therefore, I'm going to go ahead and, since I'm already in my ledger accounts, hopefully I didn't do anything. Since I'm in my ledger accounts already, I'm going to go ahead and complete it from here. So miscellaneous expense, right? Today is still the 10. And we're going to remove the coffee brewer. Okay? We're still on page 3. And we're going to credit the miscellaneous expense by $2,627.95. So therefore, that will leave your coffee grinder for that $1,528.07, which we've already established is the grand total of what my current coffee grinder is right now.
Just to let you know, you're breaking up a little.
Okay. All right, so 1528.07. Okay, just hang in there a little longer. Okay, so right here, this is us representing that we're going to take the coffee brewer out, leaving the remaining balance to be 1528.07, which is what the coffee grinder is currently at. And what we're going to do now here is locate our coffee brewer account and insert that amount in there. And I'm going to also include all the costs that were associated to it, right? So today's the 10, right? We're going to include all those costs that we said was in there, right? We said that the coffee brewer, so I'm going to call this coffee brewer number 2. Okay? It originally cost you, right, $2,266. We got the tax to come out to be a total of $186.95. Okay? We said the shipping cost was $175 worth of shipping. Okay? So therefore, you're going to, this is General Journal page 3, increase the account by $26.27.95, right? So therefore, the combination between the 2 coffee brewers that you have here, right? You're going to get a grand total of coffee brewers to be $4,527.95 worth of coffee brewers, right? The first one is $1,900. Second one is $26.27.95. Okay. All right. Okay. Good. So, last question of the day. Do I need to update my subsidiary ledger?
Is it in service yet?
And yes, it's in service right now. Because
you're supposed to update it when it's in service.
What are you updating?
No, you already have your coffee brewer in there, but are you adding to it? Are you adding to it the cost?
My coffee brewer is ready to go.
Okay, so then you already have it. All the costs are already included.
Correct. My question is, do I need to update my subsidiary ledger?
I'm sorry, my mind is just gone. Sorry.
No worries. Any other guesses? Do we need to update my subsidiary ledger? What is my subsidiary ledger? What do I actually use my subsidiary ledger for?
To discuss your terms and all that
With who?
with the vendor.
With a vendor. What else do I use my subsidiary ledger for?
To record that you'd made payments and everything.
Correct. So in this case, why I also use it for my customers, to keep track of my customers. I also use it to keep track of my employees. For me to remove my account from miscellaneous expense to a coffee brewer account, did that require somebody to do that for me?
No.
No. So therefore, you didn't hire somebody to remove from miscellaneous expense account to my coffee brewer account. So in this case, this is called an internal transaction, meaning you don't need to update the subsidiary ledger because this is a transaction that happens in between your books. On again, it's an internal transaction. Nobody was involved in this transaction. So therefore, I don't need to update the subsidiary ledger. So I am officially done with this transaction. Okay? All right. Okay. Any questions? Okay. And then last but not least, we're going to hire LV Remodeling to do the reinforcement of the foundation for the coffee grinder. So right there, we just simply hired them to do the job, nothing else. Okay? So that concludes today's lesson. All right? Okay?